Thinking you're about to try to And we're not too far off getting this game underway between the Valley Cats and BRDL. And it's good to see we've got a sizable crowd that's popped on this otherwise dreary, cold, dark, wet Saturday morning. We get this one underway. It is in number 1-2 PMS jamming for the Valley Cats, and number 2-2 jamming for the Rat Pack. That of course is Corey, unfortunately picking up a cut track as the pack now comes slowly through turn number 2, coming down now the back straight away. And getting on through, picking up lead jammer, it is PMS. Skater there takes a bit of a tumble, making their way to the penalty box area. Never ideal. Penalty box early stages, seeing plenty of action. Skaters making their way into the penalty box. Pack advantage then is with the Valley Cats, and they'll look to utilise that as they come in now to turn number 3. Number 2-2, that's Corey there jamming for the Rat Pack, getting on through. This pack now comes on through turn number 4, down on the mate straight away. Corey getting on through, picking up 4 points in for the Rat Pack. Oh, a nice big solid hit there from the Rat Pack jammer. All legal. Good old-fashioned hip and shoulder. 4 points collected for their efforts as well. As Pack now slowly coming down through onto the main straightaway. PMS gets on through, picking up another 4 points. Good start then by both teams. Valley Cats on 4, BRDL on 8. As the pack then comes through off turn number 2. As it is Hell's Yeah jamming for the Valley Cats. Power jam start for them. A nice big solid hit coming into turn number 3. They're right in front of the commentary position. Hell's Yeah picks themselves up. Does a bit of fancy footwork on the outside part of turn 4. Gets on through. Corey then released from the penalty box, back out on track now. That's the Ballarat Jammer as this one comes to an end. So we have number 55, that's Snipples jamming for Ballarat, up against number 1-2, that's PMS jamming for the Valley Cats. But getting on through, getting out on lead jammer, it is Snipples then for the Rat Pack. And PMSM with it all to do, coming off of turn 2, now into turns 3 and 4 as the pack now slowly comes around through onto the back straight away. And both teams happy to go defence as this one comes to an end. Points then added to the Ballarat total. So it is then Mighty Mouse, number 7-0, jamming for the Valley Cats. Up against number 1, that's Sione, jamming for the Rat Pack. And getting on through, wasting no time, getting lead jammer, it is Sione. Oh, big hit there into the back of the pack. A bit of a hit it and quit it there for Sione, picking up the 4 points, then calling it off. That whistle then indicates we're going into an official timeout. Referees then just getting some clarity on some bits and pieces. So that whistle then gets us underway. It is number 2-2, Corey, jamming for the Rat Pack. Up against 2-6-2-7, that's Hells Yeah, jamming for the Valley Cats. Nice big hit, sending Corey almost back to turn 4 there. Good defensive work there from the Valley Cats as the pack slowly now making its way into turn number 1. Getting on through and getting up lead jammer, it is Hells Yeah. It's going to be a power jam for them, unfortunately. The Rat Pack jammer, that's Corey, in the penalty box as the pack then kind of stuck in turn number 1. Both teams going to work on the jammer. Well, certainly the Ballarat defence is trying their hardest to hold up Hells Yeah for as long as they possibly can. 2-6-6, that's Beck making their way to the penalty box there. Whilst all that was going on, 2-2, Corey returns back to the track and wastes no time on getting on through the pack, and unfortunately not picking up any points where 8 points were added to the Valley Cats total, pushing them out to 18, BRDL on 16. We find ourselves under another official timeout. Referees just having a bit of a chat there in the middle. whilst we've got this opportunity, a big shout out to all our referees and officials here today. They're giving up their time freely so we can all go and derby. So we thank each and every referee and official. Yeah, put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for these fine individuals. And a big shout out to all the folks that might be taking this live feed at home or wherever you're taking your feed from. Welcome, and we trust that you're enjoying the action between the Valley Cats and BRDL Rat Pack. Of course, coming up after this, we have TRV versus VRDL KCR. That should be one hell of a game. Plenty to get through today. Round 2 of statewide stampede. We're under the jam timers instruction there, just giving us the 30 seconds. Or not. We're back under an official timeout again. Worth noting too, for everyone that's here today, there's stalls over to where the entry is. A bit of food over there as well, so if you're feeling a little bit peckish, make your way over there and grab something to eat. And there's some team merchandise available as well. So that whistle gets this one underway. It is then 1-2 PMS, the lone jammer on track. PMS will be looking to try and get through the pack as quick as possible. Mission accomplished. Lead jammer, it is then PMS and the Valley Cats. And straight away coming into turn number 1, PMS met very solidly then by the Rat Pack defence. Nice hit there by 3-8 on the Rat Pack. That's Roast. And another big hit again by Roast, but PMS more than up for the challenge. Pack now coming off the back straight away into turn number 3. As the Ballarat defence then goes to work on PMS. She's seen enough, calls it off. Another 7 points then been added to the Valley Cats total, stretching them out to 25. BRDL for the last couple of jams just stuck on 16. So it is in number 1, Sione jamming for the Rat Pack. And wasting no time getting on through. Again, another hit it and quit it, just picking up the 4 points. We'll take Ballarat up to 20, just 5 points in it. They're trailing the Valley Cats 25 with just on 20 minutes to go. Ballarat have called their team timeout. This team timeout will go for a minute. Each team timeout goes for a minute. For those that might be viewing Derby today for the first time, Worth noting a big shout out to our sponsors for today's event: Skate Vic, Aussie Broadband, NCF Exports, and 9 Creeks Consulting. Without their generosity, today would not happen. We're under the jam timer now. I'm waiting to get this one underway. Empty penalty box means we've got a full complement of blockers on track. And it is 55. That's Snipples jamming then for the Rat Pack. Can't quite see the jammer then for the Valley Cats. Looks like Hell's Yeah as the pack then comes through. Turn number 1. Nice move to the outside of turn number 1. Snipples gets on through. Lead jammer. Seven, that's Vindicator. Nice move to the outside part of turn number 2 there. Up the front with it all do. Nice work there defensively by Ballarat. There's the pack now coming on through into turn number 3. Defence there of the Valley Cats. Oh, nice. Unfortunately, as big a hit as that was, it was an illegal hit on the Ballarat jammer. So we have 1-2 PMS jamming for the Valley Cats up against number 1, Sione jamming for Ballarat. And the Valley Cats defence giving Sione plenty to think about there on the main straightaway. Just trying to find any gap. And nothing is on offer. Same can be said too for the Rat Pack defence there, also giving PMS a hard time. Oh, nice little bit of work to the inside part of turn number 1. PMS gets on through. Sione there for Ballarat, also getting through the pack. Slow goings then coming through turn number 2. As PMS taken to the outside part of turn 2. She'll have to go back before re-entering the track. So it is all to do up front of the pack then. And that's Sione jamming for Ballarat, trying to find a way through the Valley Cats defence, though having none of it. Nice little move to the inside part of turn 3. Gets Sione through and 4 points with that. All the action though is at the midpoint of the back straightaway. That's not worrying Sione too much. Another 4 points then being added to the Ballarat total. Defence here of Ballarat is working overtime and really giving PMS plenty to think about, but this one comes to its natural conclusion. Andy jammed that for Ballarat, 11 points being added to their total. Ballarat is on 37 with the Valley Cats on 28. Just on 16 minutes to go in this first half. So it is 6-9-6 then jamming for Ballarat. And Sly Devil Sly Devil wasting no time getting on through, picking up lead jammer. Another 4 points then being added to the Ballarat total. Power jam then for Ballarat. Unfortunately, number 6, Bad Juju, picking up a penalty. Oh, big hit then on one of the Valley Cats blockers. Now the pack gets a little bit of speed about it coming into nice move to the inside part of turn number 4 for Sly Devil, got on through. And again, another very, very handy jam for Ballarat. Another 12 points being added to their total. Ballarat now on 49. Valley Cats on 28. As the Valley Cats now call a team timeout. So that's the team timeout, all done and dusted. So we have number 70, Mighty Mouse, for the Valley Cats, taking on number 55. That's Snipples for Ballarat. Are your two jammers on track? Whistle gets this one underway. Both jammers trying to find something to work with, any sort of little gap, not on offer as the pack now comes through onto turn number 2. But moving to the outside and taking through lead jammer, it is Snipples. Pack now coming down through into turn number 3. And Valley Cats jammer there, hot on the heels of Snipples. Snipples thought better of it to call it off, but not before getting 2 more points. We have yet another official timeout. And just a reminder again to everyone that's here, we do have a raffle going today, as well as the cake stand, as I mentioned before. Also, guess the lolly jar. I'm not quite sure what the money value is in doing that, but make your way over there. There it is, the money jar, the money jar. How good am I going? Seriously. The lolly jar. Pretty exciting game, this one, between two very, very strong teams. Of course, the Valley Cats very impressive in round 1. So this one now gets underway. It is number 1, Sione jamming then for Ballarat. And I believe that's Hells Yeah jamming for the Valley Cats. Nice bit of defence, just taking Hells Yeah to the outside part of turn number 1 now as the pack comes through said turn, but getting out and picking up lead jammer, it is Sione. Nice move to the outside part of turn 2. Sione getting on through, 4 points then being added to the Ballarat tally. So the Valley Cats now going to try and hold up Sione, but unfortunately Sione had seen enough and called it off. Not before adding 6 more points then to the Ballarat total. Ballarat moving along to 57. And the Valley Cats still on 28. We've got just on 12 and a little bit to go in this first half. So we have then Sly Devil 696 jamming for Ballarat up against 1-2 PMS jamming for the Valley Cats. And a nice bit of footwork there from the Valley Cats jammer. PMS getting on through, picking up lead jammer. Skaters taking a tumble, refs taking a tumble. PMS picking up another 4 points then. There's a pack then slowly coming down through the back straightaway. Sly Devil is through. Number 8 then, that's Ray Scar to serve a penalty. Pack advantage then with Ballarat. There's the Ballarat defence right in front of me here on turn number 3, giving PMS plenty to think about. Likewise, the Valley Cats defence doing the same to Sly Devil. Unfortunately then for Sly Devil picking up a penalty. PMS has the track to themselves and gets on through, wasting no time, picking up another 4 points. A little bit of O there from the Valley Cats, not quite working. The Ballarat defence were more than up for the challenge. Working very hard on the back straight over. This one comes to its natural conclusion. Very nice jam then for the Valley Cats. Much needed 10 points being added to their total. The Valley Cats move then to 38. 4 more points being added to the Rat Pack total, moving them to 61. Just on 9.5 minutes to go in this first half game. It is then 7-0 Mighty Mouse jamming for the Valley Cats up against 2-2 Corey jamming for the Rat Pack. And just trying to find a little bit of an exit there on the outside part of turn 1. Successfully, Corey, lead jammer, Ballarat. Unfortunately, Mighty Mouse picking up a penalty, so it's going to be a power jam now for Ballarat. As the Valley Cats defence, well, they tried to hold up Corey. Corey is having none of it. Nice move to the outside part of turn 2 on that previous pass. 4 more points. So the Ballarat defence then going to work to try and get the jammer through successfully. So now the O comes from Ballarat trying to break up that Valley Cats defence. but they're more than up for the challenge. So getting on through, it's another 4 points then being added to the Ballarat total. It's Pat now coming through turns 3 and 4. So Mighty Mouse in for the Valley Cats. Finally got on through the pack, but so unfortunately then for the Valley Cats, I think we're under another official timeout, and we are. Handy 15 points in from Corey and the Rat Pack, pushing BRDL out to 76. The Valley Cats on 38. The referee's just getting a little bit of sweat off track. So hopefully then we're not too far off from getting this one back underway. No sooner had I said that. It is then 55, Snipples, the jammer for the Rat Pack. And it looks like 2627, that's Hells Yeah jamming for the Valley Cats. And just like that, Hells Yeah getting on through, picking up lead jammer. I tell you what, they're off to the races, got the Jets well and truly lit. Is Hells Yeah. Oh, nice bit of footwork coming off of turn number 2 from Hells Yeah. Unfortunately for Snipples with it all to do. Pat now coming on through turn number 4. And the Ballarat defence now trying to hold up Hells Yeah, but nice move to the inside part of turn 4. Hells Yeah gets on through, 4 more points. So the Ballarat defence then trying to, I guess, maximise the damage somewhat by trying to hold up Hells Yeah, but Hells Yeah has seen enough and called it off. Not before adding 8 points to the Valley Cats total, pushing them along now to 46. Not to be outdone. Ballarat adding another 4 points to their total. They sit on 80. So it is then number 1, Sione jamming for Ballarat up against 1-2, PMS jamming for the Valley Cats. And getting on through, picking up lead jammer, it is Sione. Met very solidly there down in turn number 1 and called it off. another team timeout. Ballarat using their second team timeout. Take a bit of a chat. Maybe a bit of a reset. Coaches see something obviously that they need to address. Most of the teams that you will see here today will be working towards an event happening in South Australia in around about 4 weeks' time. Of course, I speak of the Great Southern Slam, or TGSS as we like to call it. A lot of these teams will use today to try and get themselves set for what is arguably the biggest, one of the biggest tournaments in the Southern Hemisphere. Only happens every 2 years. And it's always a huge event to be a part of. Looking forward to that indeed. So that's happening over in South Australia on the Queen's Birthday long weekend. Some 60 odd leagues from Australia and New Zealand will be competing. So that team timeout has come to an end. So it is then number 70 Mighty Mouse and number 696 Sly Devil, the two jammers on the jammer start line. So we get this one underway, and immediately both jammers hit nice and solid, but unfortunately cut track then for Mighty Mouse. That's going to be a penalty. So Sly Devil then just trying to work a gap to get on through. Does so. Lead jammer Ballarat. So power jam that is then for Sly Devil and Ballarat. As the Valley Cat defence here go to work on trying to hold up Sly Devil for as long as possible. There's a pack then trying to get through turns 3 and 4. And getting on through and adding 4 more points. It is Sly Devil. Mighty Mouse though with it all to do. Coming off of turn number 4. Met with some resistance there from the Ballarat defence. But a nice little bit of footwork to the outside part of turn 4. And Sly Devil seen enough, called it off. So BRDL Rat Pack sitting on 92 and the Valley Cats on 46. So we then have on track number 1 for Ballarat. Jamming is Sione. And 2627, that's Hells Yeah. Jamming for the Valley Cats. And lead jammer. See now the pack coming just down the main straight. Oh, a nice big hit then. Unfortunately, that hit from the Ballarat jammer towards the end of that previous jam has ended up in a penalty, so it'll be a power jam start then for the Valley Cats. So it is 8-8 wipeout. Having a jam then for the Valley Cats, first time we've seen Wipeout on track as a jammer in this game. So it is lead jammer then to Wipeout and the Valley Cats. And whilst all that was going on, number 1, Sione, being released back onto the track. Oh, nice move to the inside part of turn 2 by Sione. Picking up 4 points, unfortunately though for Wipeout. Off to the penalty box, so it is a power jam now for Ballarat. So the pack now just about to make its way through into turn number 3. Oh, a nice big solid hit there from one of the Valley Cats defenders. That was number 9, Bricks. Now just making its way down through into turn number 1. Trying to find a way through in the inside part of turn 1, and successfully so. It's of course Sione and 4 points. Another 4 points being added to the Ballarat total. So that then brings us to the halfway mark of this game between Ballarat, BRDL, Rat Pack and the Valley Cats. Half-time scores see the Valley Cats on 50. And with that 12-point jam, BRDL, Ballarat, Rat Pack takes them over the 100 mark. They're on 106. So we're going to take a short 15-minute break, grab something to eat, maybe guess how many lollies are in the lolly jar, check out some of the stalls, stretch your legs, and in around 15 minutes time we'll be back for the second half action between the Valley Cats and the Rat Pack. Oh, I'm off. So we're back. And we're getting round two, the second half, let's go with that, underway. So it is then 2-2 Corey jamming for Ballarat Rat Pack. And it was a power jam start. And wasting no time getting on through, picking up lead jammer. It is the Rat Pack. So 8-8 wipeout was the jammer there for the Valley Cats. Just the 4 points then added to the halftime total there for Ballarat, moving them along to 110. And the Valley Cats still to add to their halftime tally of 50. $55 Snipples, Rat Pack, 1-2 PMS. Valley Cats are the two jammers on track, and the Rat Pack defence, as I've said so many times already in this game, giving PMS plenty to think about until there was a little bit of a gap to the outside part of turn one. And PMS gets on through, picking up lead jammer. So the Rat Pack jammer then, that Snipples with it all to do as the pack now comes down off of the back straightaway into turn number 3. Nice move to the outside part of turn 3 there for PMS, adding 4 points to the total. Unfortunately then for PMS, picking up a cut track. Number 77 Vindicator there for Ballarat, making sure that when PMS did get back on track, force that cut track. So the star pass has been successfully completed then for Ballarat, 216. That's Baby H, now the recognised jammer. Penalty box seeing plenty of action. The blocker advantage going the way of Ballarat. Picking up 4 points on that previous pass. Number 1-2, that's PMS for the Valley Cats, as this one is called off. So 8 points then to the Valley Cats, moving them along to 58. 4 points for Ballarat, moving them along to 114. So number 1 jamming for Ballarat, that's Sione. Wasting no time getting through, picking up lead jammer. 7-0, of course, Mighty Mouse jamming then for the Valley Cats. Getting on through the outside of turn number 1 on that previous pass. Sione wasting no time trying to get as many points as possible. As the pack now comes through turns 1 and 2, slices through the inside of turn 2. And picking up another 4 points. And not to be outdone, Mighty Mouse picking up 4 more points. Unfortunately then Sione picking up a cut track, leaving Mighty Mouse on track. So it's now going to be a power jam for the Valley Cats. As the pack now stuck in between turns 3 and 4. The Ballarat defence trying everything they can to hold up Mighty Mouse. But the O came thick and fast from the Valley Cats defence, trying to split Ballarat up. Quick to reform out front. Ballarat now waiting for the jammer to come on through. And Mighty Mouse being met solidly. So number 1, Sione then, is now entered back on track. Oh, so the two jammers trying a little bit of jammer on action. Coming down the back straight away. Didn't quite work. It's a nice jam there for Mighty Mouse, picking up 16 points to add to the Valley Cats total. That moves them along to 74, and 12 points being added to the Ballarat total, moving them along to 126. And we're 6 minutes into this second half game between Ballarat and, of course, the Valley Cats are under another official timeout. As you can see on the far side of the courts there, the next two teams up on track after this game will be TRV, that's Team Regional Victoria, up against BRDL, KCR, and you can see the KCR gang just going through their pre-game. So that whistle then gets us back underway. 2-6-2-7. That's Hells Yeah jamming for the Valley Cats. It's a power jam start for the Valley Cats and wasting no time picking up lead jammer. It is Hells Yeah. Met solidly there by the Ballarat defence. Quite happy just to sit there in turn number 1. Try everything they can to try and hold up Hells Yeah. But a nice move to the outside part of turn 3 gets Hells Yeah through, and with that 4 more points. So number 1, Sione then, it is jamming for Ballarat back on track. Sione then covered. Sione then getting on through on that previous pass, picking up 4 more points. And we find one of the Valley Cats blockers in the bin, so the blocker advantage is going to remain with Ballarat. So we have then 696 Sly Devil jamming for Ballarat up against 1-2 PMS. Jamming for the Valley Cats as we get this one underway. And both defences giving these two jammers plenty to think about. Sly Devil just taken into the inside part of the track then. Unfortunately, they're picking up a cut track. So lead jammer going the way of the Valley Cats and PMS. And a good opportunity now for the Valley Cats to pick up some valuable points as they are on a power jam. PMS doing just that, wasting no time trying to get as many points as possible. And the pack just slowly coming through turn number 2 now on the midway point. Coming into turn number 3. And of course, PMS has been met solidly there by the Ballarat defence. Plenty of skaters there going to the penalty box for Ballarat. So the blocker advantage is going to be with the Valley Cats. Some big hits starting to creep into the game. That's not slowing PMS down one little bit, just continually racking up the points. This is turning into a very, very handy jam. As PMS puts another 4 points to the ever-growing Valley Cats total. So nice jam there from PMS. Very nice jam, 20-point jam. Taking the Valley Cats into over the 100 mark, 106. And Ballarat remain on 130. So we get this one underway then. And it's going to be a power jam start for the Valley Cats. This 7-0 Mighty Mouse. As the pack now coming into turn number 3. Ballarat defence now just trying to hold Mighty Mouse up for as long as possible. Getting on through, picking up lead jammer, it is number 7-0 Mighty Mouse for the Valley Cats. Gives a bit of a woo as she skated past us. Obviously very happy with their work. Pack now got a little bit of speed coming through turn number 2. So Mighty Mouse is finding a nice little gap through the midsection there of turns 3 and 4. Gets another 4 points added to the Valley Cats total. I'll tell you what, these last 2 jams have really starting to tighten things up on the scoreboard as far as the Valley Cats were concerned. And the blocker advantage clearly again with the Valley Cats. Trying everything they can to stop Mighty Mouse. But unfortunately, Mighty Mouse has taken to the inside part of turn number 3 and picked up a cut track. I'm a bit confused with that one. We didn't have a jammer after the Valley Cats jammer got sent to the penalty box. So a handy jam then for the Valley Cats on that previous jam, picking up 11 points. The Valley Cats now on 117, playing Ballarat at 130. With around 17 and a quarter minutes to go in this game. So things on the scoreboard, as far as the Valley Cats go, they've tightened right up. Only just a mere 13 points in it, which is nothing in roller derby. So we're having an official timeout. I dare say it might be in discussion for what happened in that previous jam. I'm sure the refs and NSOs will sort it all out. Speaking of the refs and NSOs, as I said right at the top of this game, a big shout out to all our referees and NSOs here today. For without them, we can't go Derby. So a big thank you to all our refs and all our NSOs. So it is then 2-2. That's Corey jamming for Ballarat. It's a power jam start for Ballarat, probably just what they needed to see if they can't just stretch that lead a little bit. Wasting no time, picking up lead jammer. It is 2-2. That's Corey. As Pat now comes through off of turn number 2, looking for and getting a nice little move to the outside part of turn 2. Corey picking up another 4 points. So number 70, that's Mighty Mouse. Well, I was going to say rejoin the track, but no sooner had that happen, another cut track, and unfortunately for Mighty Mouse, another trip back to the penalty box. Oh, big hit here in front of me by number 6. That's Bad Juju on the Ballarat jammer. All legal. Picking up another 4 points then Corey on that previous pass. As the Ballarat defence now try to move up and make life just that little bit easier for their jammer. So both jammers now out on track. The blocker advantage going the way of Ballarat. Look, a bit of defence then from the Valley Cats coming off of turn number 2. But Corey had seen enough and called that one off. It's all happening here, Beard. It's all happening here. So handy points for Ballarat in that previous jam, picking up 20. Nice work there from that jam. That was Corey, of course. Stretching Ballarat out to 150. And the Valley Cats at 117. As we are now under another official timeout. Good opportunity to thank our sponsors here again for today. Of course, Skate Victoria, always a huge sponsor of all things at Roller Derby. Aussie Broadband, NCF Exports, and Nine Creeks Consulting. Thank you to all our sponsors who have made today possible. And of course, the ARC here in Dalesford for giving us this venue for us to go skating in. Another special shout out to all the folks at home taking the live feed. Welcome if you've only just joined us. We trust that you're enjoying the live feed that's been presented to you today. And this is a pretty good game between the Valley Cats and Ballarat Roller Derby lead, the Rat Pack. There'll be no audience participation in this song, Beard. We all know the lyrics to this song. So that brings about the end of that time out. So we then have 55, that's Sniffles jamming for Ballarat. Up against 2627, Hells Yeah, jamming for the Valley Cats. But getting on through, picking up lead jammer is Hells Yeah. Had to look over the shoulder to find that the Ballarat jammer was hot on their heels. Oh, a bit of a swing off a teammate and a bit of a tumble there into turn number 2. So just the single point then added to the Ballarat total in that previous jam. So we have number 1, Sione, jamming for Ballarat, and number 1, 2, that's PMS jamming for the Valley Cats. Both these jammers just go absolutely hard at it every single time they are on track. But getting on through, picking up lead jammer for Ballarat, it is Sione. And the pack now getting a little bit of speed, coming in to the midpoint of the back straightaway. Again for Sione and Ballarat, a bit of a hit it and quit it, just picking up a couple more points before calling that jam off. So we then on the jammer start line have number 70, Mighty Mouse, and number 22, Corey, the 2 jammers on the jammer start line. As we get this one underway, the blocker advantage is going to be 4-3 in favour of Ballarat. So just trying to and successfully finding a gap on the inside part of turn number 1. That is 2-2 Corey and lead jammer status as well. Turn number 2, Corey's seen enough and called it off. So we've got just a tick over 12 minutes to go in this game. See the Valley Cats on 117 and BRDL Rat Pack on 157. So 55 jamming for Ballarat, 55, that is Sniffles, 2627, Hells Yeah, jamming for the Valley Cats. Unfortunately for Sniffles there, for Ballarat picking up a penalty. First gets lead jammer, it is now going to be a power. So good opportunity for the Valley Cats to pick up some much needed points. Pack just more than happy to slow things up coming through turns 1 and 2. Hells Yeah getting on through. Whilst all that was going on, Sniffles being released back out on track. Not going to do any damage on the scoreboard on that one. So 4 points then been added to the Valley Cats. Moves them along to 121 and BRDL on 157. And we are now having another official timeout. No, we're not. PMS jamming for the Valley Cats, number 1, Sione jamming for Ballarat. getting on through. I only just. Lead jammer going the way of PMS. So now we've got a little bit of jammer on action going on down on the main straightaway, but PMS has seen enough. Wants none of it and calls it off. At this point in time, that is 9-9 Morbid Murder. First time we've seen Morbid Murder in this game. Make an immediate impact between the two skaters there on the entry point into turn number 3. So both jammers getting through the pack successfully on that previous pass. As the pack now ends 1 and 2. Jammers good points. 7 points, in fact, added to the Valley Cats, moving them along to now to 128. Ballarat along to 165. And we are at official time. Referee. On the track there. Sniffles in for Ballarat, as all skaters are now So we're now back up and running after that little halt in proceedings. As now we find ourselves under a team timeout. So that whistle will avail. Enough and called it off. not before adding 8 more total. Then jamming for the Valley Cats, number 2 Ballarat. And getting on through. Yet again picking up lead jammer for Ballarat. It is number 2, that's Corey. Then coming into turn number 1. One of the Ballarat blockers in, that's 266. Beck, a seat in the penalty box, so the block then of the Valley Cat. Nice bit of footwork there from Corey on the outside part of turn 2. And 4 points, trying to hold up Corey. Corey now arriving for Ballarat. So the Valley Cats still remain on 128. BRDL moving to 89. As we find ourselves under a team. As I mentioned before, shout out to obviously all our refs and NSOs that are giving up their time so we can derby today, but also a big shout out to the members of the St John's Ambulance who are here to make sure all our skaters seeking an egregious back block on the previous jam. That call have lost their official due. So it is then 1-6 killer curls jamming for Ballarat. First time we've seen curls jamming in this game. Up against PMS. Valley Cats. PMS picking up jam and then for the Valley Cats. As the defence then get a little bit of a head of steam to try to stop PMS. Up 3 points. The Valley Cats moved along to 131 and BRDL, the Rat Pack, on 200. as the Valley Cats have called a team timeout. Gives the refs an opportunity to have a bit of a skate around, make sure everything's all A-OK. Slowly starting to make their way back out on track and get themselves set up. And eagerly awaiting on the jammer start line. It is then 2-2. 2-6-2-7 Hells Yeah, the jammer for the Valley Cats. We go back into an official timeout. Looks like we just got some track maintenance going on here. So hopefully not too much longer then before we can get a resumption in play. It can never be said enough just how good our referees are that we've got here today, ladies and gentlemen. They will find anything and everything. If it means safety for the skaters, they will make sure that it is attended to. So a big round of applause to our referee crew that are here today, and of course all our NSOs, making sure that all the skaters are safe. So that whistle then means that we're about 5 seconds away to getting this one started. And our jam timer says, let's get rumbling. So with that, it is then 2-2 Corey jamming for Ballarat. And 2-6-2-7 Hells Yeah jamming for the Valley Cats. And getting on through, Hells Yeah picking up lead jammer. Pack now got a little bit of speed about it, coming down the back straightaway, so it'll be interesting to see what the teams do here defensively. Unfortunately then for the Valley Cats, Hells Yeah making a trip to the penalty box. That gives to Corey and Ballarat a power jam. Have something of a sort of stagnant pack here coming into turn number 3. Defense eagerly awaiting to try and hold up Corey, but Corey having none of it. Nice little move to turn number 4. And with that, 4 points being added to the Rat Pack tally. Two 2-6-2-7 Hells Yeah penalty served back on track. And wasting no time getting on through the pack. And with that, 4 points. So both jammers now just trying to navigate their way through. Doing a nice job of it, Hells Yeah, on that previous pass. So the star pass then successfully completed then for Ballarat. It is now 7-7 Vindicator. Very well known as a jammer for Ballarat over the years, Vindicator. Good to see them having a bit of a jam, even if it was short-lived. A bit of a smile on our way through. So we are on an unofficial end to this game, and I say that because all the two jammer refs will want to make sure that all points were and have been accounted for, even though we hear a rolling whistle in the background there. So I'm just waiting to get the okay from both jammer. Looks like everything's all done and dusted. So I believe that is all done and dusted to that previous game. Does victory go the way of BRDL Rat Pack on 41. So congratulations to BRDL on that win. Don't go too far away, everyone, because up next we have TVR, Team Regional Victoria, VRDL KCR. Some of the TRV skaters now on track. And VRDL rather, and KCR. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be back shortly. Number 3 for today's program. TRV, VRDL, KCR.